It's official. Angel Reese's time in Chicago is hanging by a thread, and the way this saga is unfolding feels less like a basketball season and more like a reality TV show gone off the rails. The question isn't whether she'll stay with the Sky, it's whether she should even bother suiting up again for a team that looks more lost than ever. And if you think this drama ends in Chicago, think again. Because behind the scenes, powerful voices in the W are already circling, whispering that Angel Reese deserves a fresh start, and maybe even pressuring her to demand a trade. That's right. One of the league's own executives has called the Sky the worst-run organization in the WNBA. And fans? They're convinced they already know who said it. Before we dive into the mess, the trades, and the big names involved, make sure you smash that button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss a single update on this developing storm. This channel is where we cut through the noise and talk real about the game, the drama, and the power plays, shaking up the WNBA. Let's set the scene. Angel Reese, once the pride of Chicago's rebuild, has now become the centerpiece of one of the ugliest front office meltdowns in recent memory. Fans who once cheered her every move are left torn between loyalty to their star and disgust at the people running the team. And Reese herself. She looks like a player caught between wanting to fight for the jersey on her back and wanting to escape an organization that has done nothing but sabotage its own chances of success. And here's where things get explosive. Because the executive who called out the Sky wasn't just venting frustration. He had an agenda. He wants Angel Reese badly. And when you hear who fans think it is and the trade packages being whispered about, you'll realize this isn't just smoke. This is a full-blown fire. Let's start with the heart of the issue, the suspension. Angel Reese got slapped with a suspension that many insiders say was less about discipline and more about control. She dared to put pressure on management, demanding better performance, and instead of listening, the Sky punished her. Think about that, suspending your best player because she expects excellence. It's like firing your chef for cooking too well. The optics are a disaster, and WNBA insiders agree. Chicago looks like the most dysfunctional organization in the league right now. Now, fans have been quick to defend Reese, saying her criticism of teammates was blown out of proportion. Sure, some of her words may have stung, but let's be real. Her teammates weren't just offended out of nowhere. There's a good chance more was said behind closed doors than ever made it to the press. Still, does that justify throwing her under the bus publicly? Absolutely not. The truth is simple. Reese may have crossed a line, but the GM, Jeff Pagliocca, crossed an even bigger one. And that's why his name is being dragged through the mud more than anyone else's right now. But here's where it gets wild. While Chicago is busy imploding, another team is quietly planning its next big move. A move that could reshape the future of Angel Reese's career. And if you guessed Dallas, you're on the money. Word on the street is that Curt Miller, the mastermind most fans believe is behind the worst-run organization comment, is already scheming. The Dallas Wings have been circling Reese like sharks around a sinking ship. They've got the assets, they've got the motivation, and most importantly, they've got the desperation. Miller wants Reese in Dallas, and he knows exactly what it would take to make that happen. So let's talk trade packages. The most likely scenario? Dallas sends Chicago a rookie deal or two, because rookie contracts are gold in the WNBA, and a highly valuable 2027 draft pick. Louisa Gossner's name keeps coming up in these conversations, alongside players like Zaza James and JJ Quinterly. Put it together, and you've got the makings of a blockbuster deal. Young talent, future picks, and cap-friendly contracts that could give Chicago a chance to start over. But here's the catch. Dallas isn't the only team in the conversation. Minnesota, Washington, and even Las Vegas have all been floated as possible destinations. Yet when you really break it down, Dallas stands out. They not only need a player like Reese, they've also got the assets to actually pull it off. And let me tell you, the draft is the key. Because this isn't just about Angel Reese. It's about who teams are willing to sacrifice to get her, and who they're willing to draft if they miss out. If Dallas pulls the trigger and lands Reese, it completely shifts their draft strategy. Instead of reaching for a questionable prospect like AC Foote, whose hype doesn't match her actual game, they could lock in a real game changer like Olivia Miles. Imagine pairing a top point guard with Angel Reese. That's not just a team, that's a problem for the rest of the league. But without Reese, Dallas might get stuck making picks to appease Paige Bueckers rather than building for long-term success. And let's be real, making draft choices based on pleasing one player is a fast track to mediocrity. Meanwhile, back in Chicago, fans are watching in horror because the truth is, even if Reese does leave, the sky still won't fix their real problem. You could send Reese to Dallas, Washington, or anywhere else. But as long as Jeff Pagliocca is calling the shots, the dysfunction remains. His track record speaks for itself. Poor roster decisions, questionable suspensions, and a complete inability to build a winning culture. If you're a Sky fan, you don't need Angel Reese to leave to realize the house is already on fire. And here's the big question. If Reese does get traded, how will she go out? Will she quietly fade away, or will she give fans one last unforgettable performance? Imagine this. Angel Reese suiting up for one more home game. Not for the team, but for the fans. Showing up early, signing every autograph, hyping the crowd, putting on a show. Not chasing the win, but cementing her legacy as a player who gave everything she could before walking away from the chaos. That would flip the narrative. Suddenly, it's not Reese quit on Chicago. It's Chicago quit on Reese. And fans would have no choice but to turn their frustration toward the GM. Now, let's zoom out. Because the truth is, this isn't just about one player and one team. This is about power in the WNBA. Players like Angel Reese are changing the dynamic. They're not just athletes, they're stars with leverage. And when a star calls out management and the response is punishment, it sets the stage for a bigger battle. A battle over who really runs the league. The front offices or the players who put fans in the seats. And here's where it all comes crashing down. Because if Angel Reese forces her way out, it doesn't just change Chicago. It changes the entire balance of power in the league. Think about it. Dallas with Angel Reese becomes a serious playoff contender. Washington with Angel Reese becomes one of the most dangerous lineups in the East. Even Minnesota could instantly transform if they pulled it off. Meanwhile, Chicago is left with draft picks and rookie contracts, praying they pan out. The gap between winners and losers in this deal could define the WNBA for years. So, what happens next? Does Reese demand a trade outright, forcing Chicago's hand? Does Curt Miller keep working the back channels to make Dallas the favorite? Or does some other team swoop in and shock everyone with a monster offer? One thing is certain, Angel Reese isn't done making headlines. Whether she stays, leaves, or takes matters into her own hands, the drama has only just begun. And for Chicago, the clock is ticking. Fire the GM or lose your star. Either way, the fans deserve better than the circus they've been handed.